We read about the mutiny of Korach and Adoso together with Dosan and Aviram, who were Moshe's antagonists from the very beginning. They're the ones who informed the Moshe Rabbeinu initially when he killed the Mitzri. Moshe had to flee, only to return after many years. These people truly were evil. Dosan and Aviram. According to the Orach Chaim HaKodesh, he points out in Dvorim that they are the ones who actually instigated the whole mutiny against Moshe Rabbeinu through Korach. Although the Medrash cites a pasuk initially, which indicates it was Korach's wife, but initially it was Dosan and Aviram who really fueled this battle to try to destroy Moshe Rabbeinu and to usurp his authority. And finally, Moshe Rabbeinu, he sees there's no hope and they're going to be destroyed. And he goes to Dosan and Aviram, he summons them, and they say to him, Lo nale, we will not ascend. Why? You took us out of a land that flows with milk and honey. To die in the desert. I mean, are these people, are they deluding themselves? I mean, we're talking about Shibud Mitzrayim. We speak about Yemoru Chayayim. We speak about how they embittered our lives. They didn't even straw to make the bricks, and they demanded the quotas. And they say to Moshe Rabbeinu, when you took us out of Egypt, you took us out of a land that flows with milk and honey. I mean, were they out of touch with reality? Jews were being killed, being tortured, broken, destroyed. Their children being thrown into the Nile, into the Yor. And they say to Moshe, you took us out of land that flows with milk and honey. I mean, where are they coming from? The Gemara tells us in the Dorim, how do we know that Oni Choshev Kemes, that a poor man, an impoverished person is like a person who's not alive? Because we find that Dosan and Aviram, when they initially had formed on Moshe Rabbeinu, they were from the wealthy class, and they had connection to the upper echelons of government, and therefore they were able to inform on him. After, many years later, Moshe's in Midron, and Moshe has a prophecy, and Hashem says to him, Mesu Anoshim, those people died. Dosan and Aviram are no longer alive. So the Gemara asks, but they are alive. As we see later, they continue. They were a bone of contention continuously. So Gemara says, from here we learn Oni Choshev Kames, that an Oni is like a dead person. Now, who are they originally, Dosan and Aviram? They're from the wealthy class. Yordu min Chseim, they had reversals. They no longer had their connections, therefore he was able to come back. There's a question which is asked. We find that 4/5 of Jews died during the days of darkness. Dosan and Aviram did not die. I mean, such evil people, they should have perished during the days of darkness. So we had explained that the only ones who died during the days of darkness were those who didn't want to leave Egypt. But if you want to leave Egypt, regardless of what your beliefs were, you were eligible to leave. Dosan and Aviram wanted to leave. Why did they want to leave? The reason why they wanted to leave was because they believed that the wealth that they had in Egypt would be reinstated when they come to Eretz Yisrael. It's Eretzov, it's Chol V'Dvosh, it's Batim Leim Kol Tuv. The houses are going to be filled with all kinds of wealth and treasures. So they'll be reinstated to the original economic status. That's what they believed. So that's what drove them, regardless of the dangers of leaving, but they did believe. Now they go to the desert, and all of a sudden Moshe says, because of the sin of the Meraglim, the Chet Meraglim, anybody between the age of 60, I'm not going in. I mean, here the only reason why they left is because this was their dream. This was, they're going to be reinstated to their glory. Now all of a sudden they realize it's over. Moshe, you deceived us. They lived. I mean, how could a person say it's a land of milk and honey when your brothers are being murdered and killed and tortured, persecuted? Because you have wealth? The answer is they were out of touch. They lived in their own little tiny location, in their own mindset, and they lived for themselves. So they lived for wealth, for status, for power. Now they realize it's not going to be, they went berserk. And therefore they say to Moshe Rabbeinu, You'll have to gouge out our eyes for us to come to you. You promise this, that. You teach us, as the Seforno says, mitzvah tluyus ma'or. It's as if we're going. The whole thing is a sham. You've misled us. You deceived us. Therefore, they were enraged, and because they were enraged, therefore they said, "You actually deceived us. Our dream has been met," and therefore the whole thing was futile.